As you've probably gathered from my extensive use of them on this channel, I really like old CRT monitors and TVs. There's a magic to them that just doesn't exist with LCDs. There's a lot of things to love. One of my main use cases for CRTs is actually for filmmaking. When I'm showing archive footage, referencing somebody else's video, or showing a website, it keeps you in the environment the story's being told in, and it just looks cooler than pasting a clip on screen. Anyway, let me introduce you to my current CRT collection. This one you just saw I keep hooked up to my PC as a second monitor. There's this one, my little baby CRT. This big one is on my kitchen table right now because I just loaned it out for a music video. There's this one sitting on the floor of my living room because I took apart the cabinets here and made a shelf out of them. Michael has one in his office too. And I just found another one at a business closing down sale for $10. I know it's a buzzword, but there is a nostalgia that comes with these things. Especially for people around my age, like we grew up with these things and then one day they just disappeared, so they're kind of permanently segmented away as a childhood thing. Outside of nostalgia, these things also just look better for certain kinds of media. You know, you watch a horror movie on VHS and it actually looks kind of real, and then you watch the 4K remaster and you can tell it's all rubber masks. Some competitive gaming communities still swear by these things for the higher refresh rates. I personally like having a bunch of them around because I have a lot of weird artsy friends. The amount of times I've had these used for short films, video projects, art installations, it's awesome. It makes it worth hanging on to them. I'm actually dropping these off at an art installation today, so I need as many of them working as possible. So, back to the one I just picked up. Now, currently, I have no way to transmit video to this thing. It's a weird proprietary port. This is not a computer monitor, it's not a TV, it's actually a CCTV security camera system. See, it's got buttons for 4 different cameras, and auto cycler mode that I think switches between all 4 of them on a set interval. It receives video through these like Ethernet port looking things. I think internet cables usually have 7 pins, and these have 6. I don't think it's normal, but 2 of those pins should just be regular analog video. Question is which ones. If I can get this working though, potentially I could have 4 analog video inputs and have it cycle between them, which I think would just be cool. Now, I've done some tinkering with analog video ports before. There's a couple different kinds, but it's usually pretty simple because it's just 2 pins, positive and a negative wire, simplest possible thing. Or is it positive and ground? I never remember. So like the way I have this one hooked up to my computer, it's just got a standard RCA plug on the back, and that's coming from this cheap HDMI converter box. You can get these for 10 or 20 bucks. It just converts regular HDMI into analog and lets you use this as a monitor. The port is just positive in the middle and ground on the outside. So we need to get one of these on the other TV. Some use coax ports, which look very similar and you can get adapters for. This one has both RCA and coax. Also, some camcorders and some displays like this mini TV actually use a 2.5 or 3.5 millimeter kind of audio jack thing. Again, same thing, just positive and ground, but formatted a little different. To make this mini CRT work, I just took a mono audio cable, cut the end, and then I just used Wago connectors to put that to a RCA end. There it is. This one's black and white, but it works. So there you go. Getting it hooked up can be pretty simple, even if the port isn't RCA. It's just a matter of figuring out which one's positive, which one's ground. Now, this is going to be a bit higher stakes for the security monitor because we don't just have 2 pins. Like I said, we have 6. You would plug your security cameras into these, and of course there's other signals that those are going to need. The issue is that I'm pretty sure the cameras are powered through this port. One mystery pin out of those 6 is going to be putting out 12 volts. And there's not a standardized orientation here as far as I know. I think it's proprietary to this Exus video monitor system. And I don't think there's going to be any adapters available, so we have some tinkering to do. The safest way to accomplish this would be to find a 6-pin Ethernet cable, strip it down to 6 wires, and figure out which ones I need. But I don't have any of those and I don't want to bother sourcing any, so my plan is to bypass these ports entirely and just go straight to the circuit board. I should note there's components inside CRTs that can be really dangerous. This is not to be taken lightly, so I proceeded forward very cautiously. I only need to get one input working today, but once I find out what pins I care about, it'd be pretty easy to add the other 4 down the road. The scariest part of this whole operation was turning the CRT on with the case off, but pretty quickly and without touching anything unnecessary, I was able to figure out which pin was 12 volt and which was ground. Incredible. I'm alive. I just have to get 2 wires in there. It's hard to get all these to go liquid at the same time. There we go. Beautiful. With the old port removed, I tapped a wire into the ground and into what I suspected to be the video in. For that, I was operating off a schematic for a different model that I thought would be similar, but I won't know for sure till I test it. My method for adding an RCA jack to this was very jank. All I had on hand was a 1/4-inch audio to RCA female adapter, so I just stuck some wires to that and heat shrinked it all together. Should work fine for data transmission. With that, I should have functional video in and it was ready to plug in and test. Now for the next 20 seconds of this video, the audio is going to be screwed up because of the electromagnetics screwing with my wireless mic, but the TV was working. Is there an image right now? Can I play?
Yes.
It's working?
Yeah.
Sick! That's actually insane. Is it black and white or color?
Black.
Okay, didn't know. Well, hey, that wasn't too bad. I'm gonna paint the case and then put this thing back together. Okay, audio is fixed from here on out, and I went ahead and sanded the case to give it a paint job. Somewhat on the topic of reviving old tech, while I was waiting for my primer to dry, me and my friends noticed a ring light that was placed in our trash can. What did you find in the trash? You gotta start making TikToks. You think it works?
Plug it into the car.
Oh, turns on.
Hey.
Yo. Yeah, it's not that bright.
Bro, I might pull the light strip out of that and use it.
I knew he was gonna do some shit like that.
Anyway, I'll find a use for that later. Back to the CRT, I decided to paint it a bright yellow. I was gonna do a more neutral color, but after finding out that the display was black and white, I decided to make it a bit crazy. Looks like a giant Lego brick. Then to finish up the project, I just have to fish my jerry-rigged RCA through the back, screw it all back together, and with that, it's ready to be used in its first art installation. I'm glad I got this one working, even if it's a little blurry, still looks cool. But I am now out of time. I gotta deliver all these plus the other big gray one to the art gallery. I think the idea is to stack them all up, make like a big video wall collage thing. I'm excited. It'll be cool to see in that context. Hopefully none of them implode in my car. All right, that is a car with 5 CRTs in it. I brought them all to my buddy Grant's studio, and a few days later I got to see him all set up at a gallery show. He had this whole video collage thing going on with my brand new yellow CRT right there in the middle. I showed up towards the end of the show, but from what I heard, these things were a smash hit. Everybody loves CRTs. There was even another piece in the gallery that had one. I'm just glad I had a good reason to put all of them in one place, get everything working again. I got to help Grant with presenting some of his video work in a cool way, break up some of the normal presentation styles in the gallery, and give the audience a fun little bit of nostalgia. I'll see you tomorrow, and thank you for your time.